Support WrestleTalk!
It is NXT TakeOver in your house predictions time. Hello, you're watching WrestleTalk's prediction show. I'm El Fakador Laurie Blake. I'm joined by Chopper Pete Cornell, who's broader than usual, and Adam Blompier, who is jamming that jam. Now, if you want to join in on our prediction show, all you got to do is get involved by becoming a pledge hammer on Patreon and joining Wrestle League, which is our competition for predictions on all of WWE's and AEW shows leading up to SummerSlam. The winner wins a brilliant trophy, kudos, and the loser has to do a punishment, but you can play along too by becoming a pledge hammer on Patreon, like I said. Now, this is NXT TakeOver in your house, which it's a nice way to bring back an old school WWF thing and give everyone like a little bit of a boost in hard times. It's just a shame that it also quite blatantly points out the bleakness of the world currently. You are trapped in your house. I guess the only other pay-per-views they could have gone for would have been No Way Out would have also worked. And they could have brought back Fully Loaded, which I guess Boris's sex ban has left a lot of people feeling like they are. So let's start off with the NXT Women's Championship, which is Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai in a three-way tangle.
I am going to go for this one. Now, hear me out here. I'm going to go for Io Shirai for this one. Because it's the perfect match for Charlotte Flair to lose without being pinned, for starters.
This is great analysis. Who is behind you? What's going on?
It's Jacques Rougeau.
You look like you're being Heidenreicht.
Are you under duress?
Blink three times.
Are you being made to say this?
So anyway, Charlotte is going to lose this because, as it has now been discovered, they're now including NXT Women's Championship reigns in Charlotte's total. So she's now a 12-time champion, despite her being a 10-time champion before she won the NXT Championship off Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. So now she's a 12-time champion. They're just going to keep racking up these championship wins. And the only way she can get more championship wins is if she loses it to then win it back. Io Shirai is going to win by pinning Rhea Ripley. Charlotte's going to go, well, I had that match won. I wasn't pinned. I want a rematch. She's going to beat Io for it. And then she's going to win it back. And it's going to be really bad. But Io's going to win this one.
I also think they've also practiced this finish before with the figure eight when Rhea did it in the match with Sasha and Charlotte. So, yeah, I actually am going to go for Io Shirai as well because I think that's the direction to go, because then you can do a one-on-one match, have Charlotte beat Io, and then you build up to the rematch with Rhea one-on-one for a bigger show.
I'm very similar to you. I think Charlotte's losing it, but I think Charlotte's losing it to Rhea Ripley. And I think they're going to have an official one-on-one rematch in the summer. Hopefully, Charlotte will lose that, and then maybe we can get Io Shirai. But I think Rhea is taking it home to sort of tie them up, and there's going to be a big blow-off match at the next one.
Whatever the next one is.
Whenever the next one is.
The next one is, do not leave your house for any reason. The next NXT Unlimited Sunbathing.
NXT TakeOver sex ban.
So the next match is Finn Balor versus Damien Priest. This all came about when Finn Balor was set to face Velveteen Dream as a sort of number one contenders match for the NXT Championship. Balor was attacked backstage. He then also attacked Balor during a match with Cameron Grimes, which gave him a win. I feel like Priest kind of has to win this because he's the Archer of Infamy, and he has an infamously bad track record of winning anything currently. So it makes sense for his character to win, but I also feel like Balor is the sort of person, now that the Walter thing is just not going to happen for a really long time, you want to keep Balor in the mix for whatever title going forward. So despite the fact that I think Priest should win, I'm going to say that Balor wins.
So Balor's been doing this thing where he's cutting promos like he's read the Wrestling Observer. He keeps saying things like, I'm going to bury your push, and I'm going to work the boys as I bury your push, and I'm going to shoot on.
Attack the guy, get the push. The big push.
And normally that leads to a loss. Like, there they are.
After the sex ban.
Oh, shag. Let's say Damien Priest then, because I do think you're right. I think he's lost a lot. I think Balor is fairly bulletproof. at this point. I think as long as it involved, yeah, you go. I think it's the nightstick gets involved. I think you can sneak a win onto Damien Priest without damaging Balor too much. And then you've got another person near the top of the card. Hooray. Damien Priest, though, I am definitely not confident about this one.
I'm also going to go for Damien Priest for this one because I think that Priest needs a win, and I think they're eventually still going to do Balor versus Walter down the line, but I think it's going to be enough time for Balor to lose here, and then you can build Balor back up again as a strong person, get some wins over some other people before he goes on to face Walter. I think there's enough time for him to have a dip to come back up. So I think it makes sense, and I'm going with logic here that Priest wins this one.
So that's Champa versus Karrion Kross. So far, Champa was being stalked by Karrion Kross. At the end of the one final beat match, we saw Karrion Kross parked in his car outside. And then he attacked him backstage, setting up this whole feud. Karrion Kross so far has done some very good entrances and squashed Liam Gray and Leon Ruff, who I had to look up their names. Technically, Kross's first proper match in NXT.
As much as I love Champa, Kross needs to win this match. I think anything other than Kross winning would be a bad choice, even if it's, some sort of double count out schmoz thing to keep them both strong. I think that's a poor idea. I think Kross having such an epic kind of debut, that entrance that captivated everyone, being immediately inserted into kind of a main event feud.
And Champa loses because his great balls hurt.
Those great balls. After Johnny kicked him.
I think he's going to be wearing so many cups for this match.
He's just going to be weighed down by taking no chances. If this was a main roster match, then Champa would win and Karrion Kross would attack him after the bell to get his heat back. But NXT do things properly, and I think they're going to smash Karrion Kross over. And I think, he's going to tap Champa out. They'll give Champa the consolation prize of, we fell asleep, so he didn't really lose. He didn't tap, but that's what's going to happen.
I don't think they should even do like a back and forth match. I think Karrion Kross should just destroy Tommaso Ciampa. He should come out, 25-minute entrance, Scarlett lip syncing for her life, drag queens everywhere, the whole shebang, and then he just, within seconds, 3 Saito suplexes, chokes him out. That's it.
I'd love that. I think that would be a perfect first takeover match for him. It would shock everyone and would really elevate him to the top of the card instantly. It'd be awesome.
Because also, spoilers for later, I think Adam Cole is sticking around for a bit longer, and they want people from NXT on the main roster. I think Ciampa's a really good choice, and I think they've kind of done everything with Ciampa for a bit, and maybe they could send him off on like a sabbatical, and he could come back, and then he can regain the championship at some point. And I think that'd be a much better story for him, because at the moment it just feels like. Go on.
Sorry, it's a really bad joke, and I just completely interrupted your very good flow.
Were you going to say the Championship?
The Championship, yeah.
Championship.
The championship.
The Champa Chomp.
There's that tiny little chocolate bar. Johnny Gargano is taking on Keith Lee for the North American Championship.
Can't wait for this. This is going to be so good. I hope, anyway. Gargano, please. If only to free up Mr. Keith Lee for bigger, better things. I think now is Keith Lee's time. It's tricky. I think maybe this, without wanting to sound crude and tasteless, this weekend might be really bad optics for it. But I do think that Keith Lee should be winning the NXT Championship sooner rather than later. So I am gonna. No, wait. I think it should be Gargano winning and Keith Lee promoted. But I'm going to go with Keith Lee. I
am going to stick with my original choice, and that is Johnny Gargano. Getting into this new heel character, he's got the whole new music, the new, power couple thing with Candice LeRae. Keith Lee's had a pretty solid run with the North American title. I think he's defended it quite a lot. He's won in triple threats and things like that. If he loses it, he's not had a bad reign, and I'd really like to see him elevated up the card further to beat Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. Spoilers for my prediction for that match.
Keith Lee is a man that they want either at the top of NXT or they want on the main roster ASAP. And as a bigger guy, his greatest weakness, as we all know, is running into things or being easily distracted. And I feel like this feud, also including Candice and Mia, lends itself to easy distractions, which leads Johnny Gargano into Dick Kickamania and probably to a victory here. The NXT Championship is the final match on the card, and that is Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. This has been bubbling over for quite a while, and reports suggest that this match has already been pre-taped. So you could think that this might be another sort of cinematic style match rather than a straight up wrestling contest like we're used to seeing. If Dream loses, the rules are that he cannot challenge for the belt again so long as Adam Cole is champion. I'm leaning towards this being a way to write Dream out of NXT. I think the prophecy of the tights will come true and Vince will finally call him up. I think Adam Cole is picking up the win here. His reign has just ticked over 365 days. He's now sort of cementing himself as one of the greatest NXT champions of all time. I think they're either going to want to do him versus Balor, because Balor has the claim to being, the greatest champion of all time as well, or they're wanting Keith Lee to finally topple the Undisputed Era.
I think Adam Cole's going to win, and Velveteen Dream won't be able to challenge for that title, but he's still going to be all up in Undisputed Era's business, and whoever challenges after Cole, he's going to make sure that person beats Cole, I think. So, yeah, I'm still going to go with Adam Cole for this one.
So I'm just interested to see, because considering we've sort of heard the actual setup for the match. Not going to spoil it in case people don't want to know, but I'm just interested to see how they make it look good and not like the cheapest budget indie fed who happen to have lost their venue at the last minute. We'll see. I think Cole's winning too. Either Dexter Lumis comes into play, and actually the next feud is going to be Dexter Lumis versus Velveteen Dream in a kind of no, I've got the weirdest character kind of feud. But I do think, I think Cole's hanging on to it for a little bit longer.
Isn't the Dexter Lumis Velveteen Dream feud just going to be a replay of the Aleister Black one where he's going, say my name, but everyone's going, I'm not actually sure Dexter Lumis can talk.
That's the thing. I think the main kind of line of the feud is, what do you want, Dexter Lumis?
Why are you here? Well, that is all we have time for on this edition of NXT Predictions for TakeOver in Your House. Let us know in the comments down below what your predictions for the show are, and definitely go become a Pledge Hammer on Patreon so you can take part in Wrestle League and really show us what your predictions are, because you get to win stuff, which is the best way of doing things. I've been Elfakador Blake. I've been joined by Chopper Pete Quinnell, Adam Blompier, and that was NXT Predictions.